He seen it out of his own eyes.
Yes.
He took that for some warning that man was caught tight to there, and after he died, he come out so easy.
There was something that's more than just
That
booch clot or
wasn't
something
going to let him go. His time was up. That's what we all said. That when a man's time is up, he'll die, no matter where he is or who at all he is,
Yeah.
or how many doctors or anything else around. Very same as a man going to the war. I was going to enlist to the war. I was had been handing a knob at the door to win, and a brother of mine caught me at the First World War. I'd have went and I'd have been back. I never got shot yet, and I wouldn't have got shot there.
Yeah.
Hard to say. I might have got wounded though. Might have got a crippled leg or something.
Yeah, that's true.
Look at Kelly, P. Kelly's boy.
Albert.
Yeah, he was in the army, and he come home, got killed there on that railroad track.
He was a darn fine man, Albert.
Yeah, he was a fine man. He was in for a long time, and
He went in right at the very beginning of the war.
Yeah.
I remember him just as the war was starting. He joined.
I listened to President Johnson yesterday over the television here. No retreat from where he is. 50,000 men he's calling up, and that's only a start.
Doesn't look very good, does it?
They call it the American War now. No more other war at all. He never used to speak war, but now it's war.
Well, I certainly hate to see it coming.
Yeah. So do I. Well, the people is too well. They don't know it. They're the same in every country. People that were starving to death in countries years ago has lost each day and they're worse.
Yeah.
And no matter what you send over, they come back here and cut your throat. You could take a young bugger from that country, from a Chinese or some of them European buggers, and bring them here and raise them until he's a man. He go back to that country and he come back, if war broke out, come back and kill you.
Yeah.
That's it. And use them as good as you could use them. They done that. They done that at the time of the last war. Men that and the people had taken them over to France, and they come back and they kept them. They knew everything about it, how to get back and everything.
Yeah. No, it's peculiar what war does to men's minds that makes them do this sort of thing.
Oh, it's in their mind before. There's now you take you or I. Would we, supposing we were in the war there, and we come on to a woman and child, we'd never lay a finger on that woman or child. By God, they will. When they go into a country, they kill everything. And you take them Chinese people. They kill every goddamn thing when they take a town.
Yeah.
They have no mercy on nothing. Now, it's in them. It's right in them. Them Italians too, just the same. Well, you take the Scotch people and the Irish people and the English people. They're different altogether. Different altogether. There's a little heart in them.
Yeah.
War or no war.
They had war, but they had certain rules.
Yeah, I wouldn't shoot a girl there if I was in war and she was a girl like the one I was fighting against. I wouldn't shoot her.
Yeah.
Without I had to.
Yeah.
If she pulled a gun on me, then it'd be
No,
a
it
different thing.
seems hard to understand how they can do this sort of thing. But it's certainly happening every day.
Oh yes. I was talking to a nephew of mine, and they seen them drive the bayonet to a little child and throw him across the shoulder with the gun, and carried him with the bayonet right through. Well, now a man like that, the son of a gun, it's not war that's making him like that. He was that way before the war.
Yeah.
And look at the way that the Chinese used their prisoners of war. Now, whenever the United States got a bunch of prisoner of wars or Canada, they use them damn sight better than their own people.
Than their own people,
Yeah. But when they are prisoner of war, they're beaten and they've done everything to them.
Yeah, a lot of the German people who were prisoners of war and held here in Canada during the war have now come back here, immigrated back here.
Yes, they come back
well
here.
enough that they
But a
want to come
goddamn lot of poor Canadians was in the German prison. It was a different tune. They wouldn't go back. Damn lot of them died in prison too, over badly used.
Yeah, I knew a guy that was a prisoner by the Japanese. He was captured at Hong Kong,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the few survivors that ever came back from that.
Well, there was one fella, he was an awful religious man before he went to war. He had two sisters. They come to Leonard Leclerc's there. And he was in that war, and he was taken prison by the Japs. And his two sisters can't do nothing with him today yet. He says, there's no God, there's nobody need to tell me there is. And I allow people to do what I've seen them doing. He says, they can't put nothing in his head at all since he come back. And they're very religious people. But he's seen what they'd done, and there was a God, you think he'd knock the head off him. Man, look at it right, he thinks that. I think that myself. But there might be a God when he goes up above.
That's for sure.
That might be booked against him. Pretty severe. Well, you can't do nothing with that man. The sisters do everything they can. She's there with them. Oh, two nice girls, my daughter tells me. And they talk to him and everything, and can't put nothing in his head. Nothing. He's seen too much.
Too much talk when
he would, right today, he met a Jap outside it that nobody seen. He'd never live 1 minute. Never live 1 minute if he met him. He says it. He says it's hard for me to hold back when I meet them, when I know I'd be caught. But if I met one, someplace where I thought I wouldn't be caught, he'd never come out. And he said I wouldn't want to hang over killing them.
Yeah.
For he says no men could do what them Japs done to anybody. If the devil out of hell, he says, there must have been the devil right in them to do what he seen them do.
Yeah.
And I guess he got lots of it too.
Yes.
Well, if I was in war with the Japs, I wouldn't surrender. I'd fight as long, and when I had no trouble, I'd fight with the bayonets as long as I was able to stand. They killed me. I know they killed me. Be damned sight better dead than taken prisoner.
Better than be captured by
yes,
them, that's for sure.
100 times better. If I was in, I'd keep shouting steady to whatever men was with me. Fight them, boys. Fight them. Don't surrender. Because they ought to know what they're going to get.
Well, it's terrible that this sort of thing can still happen in the world today.
Yeah.
We thought when that last war was over, that was the end of it.
That was the end of it. That's it. They're fighting every since. Some part, some place.
There's always somewhere there.
Always somewhere.
Well, I hope they can soon resolve their differences.
Oh, the world is going crazy. Money crazy.
Yeah.
Money crazy. Money will soon be no good. No good for nothing.
I guess the old expression that the money is the root of all evil is pretty true.
Well, it's right.